Hey Uptown kids, welcome to church this morning. We are so glad that you decided to join us today. Now, I need all of you to think of the highest number you can count to is. Is it 10? Maybe 20? Or maybe you can count to 100. In Matthew, Peter asked Jesus how many times he must forgive his brother. And Peter asked, maybe 7 times? And do you know how many times Jesus said to forgive? If you guessed a lot, you are correct. He said 70 times 7. Now, I'm not all that great at math, but I do know that is a lot of times. In a little bit, Rebecca is going to share with us a story that Jesus told us about forgiveness. But before we do, let's head on over to Talia to praise and worship this morning.
Good morning, Uptown kids. Good morning from me and Finn. Finn, say hi. Can you say hi? Oh, okay. Big snuggle bug. He's sleepy this morning, just like everyone else up early for Uptown kids, eh? All right. I'm so excited that we get to worship together. Again this week, you guys. We're going to start off with our theme song. We'll see if Finn maybe will do the actions with us. You going to do the actions with us, buddy? We'll see. But we're going to start off with This Little Light of Mine, all right? So sing it with me if you know it. Oh, that's Finn's tail. Okay, Finn, sit. Sit. Good job. All right, ready? Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, hide it under a bushel. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, back to This Little Light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Awesome job, guys. I'm going to be back at the end of the service to do another song with you. See you then.
Good morning, kiddos. Welcome back to Reading Time with me. Today we're going to be reading about the unforgiving servant. So fasten your seatbelts and put on your helmets because we're in for a ride. The unforgiving servant. The kindly old king was awake with the dawn. Today is the day, the king said with a yawn. He popped out of bed, put his crown on his head, and dressed himself quickly in robes of bright red. He ran down the stairway as fast as he could, and climbed on his throne made of monkey pod wood, and sounded the gong, "Bring me muffins and tea, and send all my messengers in here with me." The messengers came, and the king sent them out, with orders to ride through the kingdom and shout, "Whoever owes debts to the king must repay. Be at the palace by sundown today." Before long, a crowd of 800 or more had gathered in front of the great palace door. They swarmed up the stairway and filled up the hall until there was no room to stand in at all. From high on his throne the king watched with a smile. Beside him the treasurer sat in a pile of books. There were books on the table and chair, and more on the floor stacked up high in the air. "Now let us begin," said the king. So they did. They brought forth a money box, opened the lid. As people came forward to pay what they owed, that huge mighty money box soon overflowed. Then up to the treasurer's table there came one servant who scarcely could utter his name. He trembled and said in a voice very low,
I haven't the money to pay what I owe. What? Roared the treasurer. Then you will find it's Law 33 that we use on your kind. A law that says clearly, he ranted and raved, that you and your family will be enslaved. The servant ran up to the kindly king's throne and threw himself down on the floor with a moan. Oh, please, sir, I promise that somehow I'll pay, but give me some time to discover a way. Just how many pieces of gold does he owe? The king asked the treasurer standing below. 10,000! The treasurer's answer was loud. 10,000! Exclaimed everyone in the crowd. The king raised his hand and they quieted down. That is a great deal, said the king with a frown. But I shall use mercy. I hereby decree your debt is forgiven and you shall go free. Oh, thank you, my king, cried the servant with glee. I'll always remember your kindness to me. His heart was so happy he wanted to sing, What a wonderful, merciful, kindly old king. He ran from the palace with wings at his feet and almost bumped into a man on the street. You! Cried the servant. His smile disappeared. He grabbed the poor man by the hair of his beard. You owe me some money. By heaven I vow. You'll pay what you owe me and pay it right now. Oh, please, cried the poor man. I promise to pay. Just give me some time to discover a way. Time? Laughed the servant with cunning and greed. In prison you'll have all the time that you need. So saying, he dragged the poor man off to jail with no lawyer, no trial, no money for bail. The news traveled fast to the servant's dismay, for the kindly old king heard what happened that day. Find him, he ordered, and bring him to me. The kindly old king was as mad as could be. Just 10 minutes later, the sad servant stood before the great throne made of monkey pod wood. Today, said the king, I showed mercy to you. I canceled your debt. And then what did you do? You walked out of here, and the first man you met, you threw into jail for not paying a debt. How shameful and wicked! Why couldn't you be as kindly as I was and let him go free? You don't deserve mercy, the servant grew pale. I hereby command you be taken to jail. To prison he went for as long as he'd live, the servant who couldn't forget and forgive. The end.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Crafts. This week we are going to be making coins. So just kind of similar to these here, I'm going to show you how to make them today. So the first thing is make sure you have all your supplies. You'll need some sort of pen or a couple pens. You can use gel pens, regular pens. You'll need some tin foil. You'll need some sort of circular shape that you can trace, or if you want to, you can just draw a circle. Get some cardboard and some scissors, preferably sharper scissors, if you have them. So the first thing we're going to do is just put your circle on your cardboard and you're going to trace your circle. So there you go. And then we'll just cut that one out. I have a few already cut here. There we go. So then you'll take your tin foil. If you're going to do a bigger one, make sure you have a bigger piece. If you want to do a smaller one, you can do a smaller piece like this. And all you do, you don't need glue or anything. You're just going to fold the tin foil over. Make sure the shiny side is down, so when you fold it, your coin will be nice and shiny. And just fold it over onto the back. Don't worry if the back is crinkled. It's fine. There we go. So once you have your coin covered and it's nice and smooth, you can pick a design that you want to do. I'm going to just show you a smaller one here as well. There we go. Okay. So I'll do one with color and then I'll do one just with some designs. So the color, you can really see the gel pens if you have any gel pens. So you can just make a sun on this one. You don't have to do a sun. You can do any shape, any design. You can color the whole thing. You could do a design. whatever you like to do. So you can see how that really shows up there. And then I'll just do some little circles around the edge. All right, so there's an example of one with the color. You can see that there. And then I'll show you one you can do just with a regular pen. If you don't have any gel pens, you can do any kind of design. So we'll do a little star in the middle. And then you can do some lines. And you can see they still show up. If you have like blue or black pen, it's fine. You'll probably see a bit of the blue. You could do your coin, make it look exactly like the coins we have now. And there you go. That's all you have to do for your craft this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.
Hey kids, let's do a fun experiment this morning. We're talking all about forgiveness today. So why do we forgive? Well, we forgive because the Bible asks us to forgive. We forgive over and over again because that is exactly what God does for us every day. We're going to do an experiment today, and Kaylin is going to be my hands because I don't have any hands. We're going to show you what it looks like when we can't forgive. When we cannot forgive, we bottle up the anger and hurt inside. It doesn't go away, but it builds and it grows, and it has repercussions on our happiness. So, let's see. Let's show what it looks like inside of us when we choose not to forgive. You see it growing? Wow, that's pretty cool. It's getting pretty big. See kids, that was a pretty big explosion. That shows you exactly what it looks like inside of us when we choose not to forgive. It grows and it builds until it ends up exploding and making a big mess for everyone. So that's why we need to choose to forgive.
Let's head on over to Talia for one last song today.
Welcome back, you guys. You did so awesome on our first song. We're going to do something a little bit different this week. I asked my friend Samantha to record a new song for us called One Way. So she's going to be playing the guitar and singing for us, and I'm going to do some actions for you. I'm not going to go over all of them because there's a lot of them, and they can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but try your best. We're going to do this one again next week, so don't worry if you don't get them all right. We're going to come back to them, okay? So it's called One Way. So try with me. Try to follow along. Down at your feet, you're the only one I need. I turn to you and you were always there. In troubled times it's you I see. I put you first, that's all I need. I humble all I am, all to you. Here we go. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. You were always, always there, every how and everywhere. You breathe and found so deeply within me. Doing so good. You will never ever change. Yesterday, today, the same. Forever till forever meets no end. Here we go. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live you. We're living all for you.
Doing so good.
You are the way, the truth, and the life. We live by faith, not by sight. For you, we're living all for you.
One more time.
You are the way, the truth, and the life. We live by faith and not by sight. For you, we're living all for you. You are the way, the truth, and the life. We live by faith and not by sight. For you, we're living all for you. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for.
Awesome job, you guys. You did such a great job. I know there was a lot of actions there. You did such a good job trying to follow along. I loved getting to see you worship. I will be back next week to teach you some new songs, and we'll do some old ones again. See you next week. Welcome back, Uptown kids. I had such a great time today with you guys. Through the parable that we learned about today, Jesus reminds us that because he has forgiven our sins, we are to do the same to those around us and need to always have an attitude of forgiveness. I know that there are people in my life who I need to choose to forgive. This week, why don't we challenge ourselves that when we feel hurt or frustrated or upset with someone, that we choose to forgive. I know it can be hard, but let's do it together. Have a great week, you guys. See you!